right, so we'll start this webinar. Thank you for joining again. Today we will be talking about the hot topic about the new requirement of Gmail and Yahoo. Today, as your presenters, my name is Jeffrey Blanc. I'm the General Manager at Cyberimpact, and today we have Patrice Sanson, our Customer Success Coordinator, that will be joining us as well.
Hello, everyone.
All right. In terms of the agenda today, we will be talking about the email recipients targeted by these new guidelines, the email senders as well. We will be also covering the new requirement that we need to comply with, tips and advice to avoid spam filters. And like I said at the beginning, we will be also answering any questions that you might have. Just before we start, just a small recap on understanding why today we're meeting and talking about those requirements. So what we need to understand is that Gmail and Yahoo are currently implementing. It's already in action since February 1st. So they're currently implementing a new system of making sure that emails are sent to their inboxes, so any Gmail and Yahoo inboxes there are compliant and that they're not treated as any spam. And the main reason for that is, and there's article available online, and I might be sharing that link as well, is that before going into those new requirements, the AI spam filtering that they had wasn't sufficient. So they weren't capable of stopping all the spams that were coming in their mailbox there. So what they decided to do is to make sure to add a layer, and that layer is the requirements with the DKIM and DMARC alignment, plus maintaining a certain rate of spam as well. We will discuss all of this during our webinar today. So like I mentioned, it's already on starting February 2024. Gmail and Yahoo will require the following senders. Everyone that sends 5,000 or close to email per day would need to be compliant with their new requirement. Now, what we've seen so far is that, yes, it's applicable to anyone that is sending 5,000 emails or more per day, but it also affecting people that are sending less than 5,000 emails per day. What we're seeing here at ThinkMax is we are seeing people with 500 or just 1,000 emails sending per day there, that they're starting to have difficulties getting through Gmail and Yahoo, and they're starting to get more and more emails are going into their spam folder. So this is the reason why it's very important, even though you don't have over 5,000 contacts, to comply to that requirement and make sure that you put everything in action to make sure that the next time you're sending emails, either by Cyberimpact or just through your regular email system there, that you make sure that your domain has at least a DKIM and a DMARC, and that you're respecting some of the requirements in terms of anti-spam regulation and all that. So let me start with the targeted email recipient. So who is it affecting? So when you're sending emails right now, this new regulation is affecting anyone that has a personal account, either ending in gmail.com or googlemail.com. Anyone with the Yahoo or AOL email accounts as well. And as I mentioned, we need to be very careful there because it's already affecting other emails, anything outlook.com or just business email as well, with the spam filtering system that companies are putting in place. As I mentioned, we're already seeing a lot of emails going to the junk folder as soon as they're not properly configured in terms of the domain alignment that we're talking about, the DKIM and the DMARC, but also as soon as the domain is classified as a spam domain there, or if there's like anything above 0.3% of their sendings that are classified in terms of spams. In terms of targeted email senders, so the product or the companies that are sending. So the first one on top is companies like Cyberimpact. Any system that is sending more than 5,000 emails per day. So if you are using Cyberimpact, we are affected, and this is the reason why we are pushing and making sure that our clients are doing the proper configuration in order to be as much compliant as we can, and in order to maintain that level of spam rate there below the 0.3% as well. If you're using any CRM like HubSpot, Salesforce, or any other system available on the market, you are also affected. So it is very important that you do the proper configuration as well. If you are working in a large enterprise, the example that I'm giving is, let's say, Bell. If you're working for Bell, well, the total amount of everyone sending emails is probably more than 5,000 emails per day. So you are affected as well. But now, just to understand, and that's the second point there, you need to understand that even if you are a small and medium enterprise, you are still affected by that. That's going to be something that is implemented by Gmail and Yahoo today, but this is going to become the norm, and it's going to become a requirement within a year, that's for sure. As I mentioned, I'm going to put the emphasis on it there. We are seeing small senders, small list of contact, and small enterprise being affected by all of this. So it's really important that you comply to it. And it's affecting all email senders internationally. It's not something that is proper to Canada or North America. It's something that is applied throughout the world. One of the things that I want to mention as well is what I said at the beginning, the implementation, the rollout started in February, but it's going to go through the end of April. At the end of April, what's going to happen is that the system like Google and Yahoo are just going to reject email. It's not just going to be spam or anything like that. They're going to be more severe. And once you get like rejection by Gmail and Yahoo, you're probably going to be classified, as a spammer or something like that. And that's going to be probably impacting as well your business. So it is really important we have that 2-month threshold there in order to make sure that all of the companies that are working with Cyberimpact complies to that. If you're not working with Cyberimpact, it's okay too there, but you need to comply to it as well. I'm gonna let Patrice continue on these next slides.
All right. Well, I guess so far we're either very clear or people are not. We have no questions so far, so that's good. But okay, if our participants do have questions, go ahead, go in the chat and the QA, and you can spot right away. We did the apologies for the little mistake. Parts of it is in French. All right. So the requirements: you need to be able to authenticate or to be able to send correctly to Gmail and stuff. Basically, you will need your own domain name. That means you will have to contact a web hosting company and get your domain to be able to get an email address that has your domain. So it could be your company.ca or .com or whatever. And the reason for this is because in order to be able to get the DKIM signature, you will need to make some changes in the DNS settings of that domain, and you only get access to those if you have your own domain name. So, okay, we talked about Gmail and Yahoo, so obviously you can't make changes there. But even if you have an address like at bell.ca, or if it's your internet provider that's giving you an email address, it'd be Globetrotter or Rogers.ca, whatever, you won't be able to make the changes needed to the DNS. So you need your own domain name. That also helps because if you're currently using, even if you figure, well, I only have like 100 contacts, I can keep my Gmail address. The issue is the changes are still online for you, and for you to send mass emails with the Gmail address, Gmail might think at some point, well, okay, this person is trying to spoof me or spoof the Gmail address. So you will need your own domain name. So that will help to meet the different requirements that you see there. First of all, don't usurp the Gmails from header. So by having your own domain name, that's not going to happen anymore. You'll also need to configure the DKIM signature, your SPF, and your DMARC policy. We'll go back and they'll give you a bit more details in a couple of minutes on exactly what to do there. But those are the DNS changes you have to make. Then you also have to keep your spam rate below 0.3%. So obviously the spam rate is determined by the number of people who kind of click on your email saying, nah, that's no good, that's spam, I want to disengage or unsubscribe and such. And there is a tool, Google has a pretty good tool to check that spam rate. We'll also talk about it a bit later. I'll also put it in the chat window and such. So you'll be able to check it out by yourself. And the unsubscribe system. Now, if you are a Cyberimpact customer, you already have that in the sense that every email that we sent has an unsubscribe link at the bottom. So there is an unsubscribe, an easy unsubscribe for people to use there. So you're pretty much covered there. Now, when I mention your own domain name, it has to be a name of a company, or it could be your name, your personal name or such, but stuff like hotmail.com, bell.ca, videotron.ca, anything that it's a company, or if it's your but your internet provider, that won't work. So you'll need a different one. So it could be if you're, you'll see examples in the next slide. We have, for example, if the name of your company is pizza, well, it has to be anything at pizza.com or anything at yourcompany.ca. So you'll have to get your own domain. So if it's a Hotmail, Live, Outlook, bell.ca, whatever, that's not going to work. All right. Now, let's get into the specifics. So while Jeffrey skips 2 things ahead. Okay. I'm going to try the next one too. You'll need to add a DKIM signature, a DMARC policy, and an SPF to your domain. So if you want to go the next one, Jeffrey, if you want to kind of differentiate or understand a little bit what everything does, imagine that your domain, your email domain, is a club. It's a VIP club. Obviously, you don't necessarily want everyone to get in there. You want only people to come in that have their name on the list. First of all, most clubs have that. Or if they have a key. If they have a key, they can enter your club. If they don't do that, the doorman, because you'll have someone to put someone at the door to decide what happens to those who don't have the key or are not on the list. You'll have to decide if the bouncer just sends them home, lets them come through, or puts them in a little box in the corner in quarantine. Basically, that's the DMARC policy. Your DMARC policy is your bouncer. It's what's going to determine what to do with the emails that do not pass your authentication. So if the email that you receive doesn't have a DKIM signature and it's not on the list, you can decide to either let it go through anyways, you can reject it, or you can put it in quarantine. That's the issue. And to give you an idea, right now, that's kind of the issue with Gmail and Yahoo, because right now Gmail has changed their policy, I think right now, to quarantine. So whatever, if the emails that you send to Gmail doesn't have a DKIM signature, it's going to be set aside, or it's going to be maybe sent to the spam box, which is not where you want to end up. But if you have everything else, you'll be good. So your DMARC policy is your bouncer. It decides what to do with your email if it fails authentication. The next one, the CNAME. This is what we ask at Cyberimpact to put a key to your email. Basically, a CNAME is something you'll have to add to your DNS. It's like a subdomain that's going to be created that points to our encryption key. So every mail that you send through your through Cyberimpact will use that encryption key. So it'll be encrypted with the Cyberimpact key. So whenever email receives, like Gmail or Outlook or even big company servers, and because that will be valid to any server that you send to, any email system that you send it to, government address and such, they will get your email with the Cyberimpact key and your sender's address. They'll go, okay, well, that works. Those two are together because they're using the other key. So there has to be a link. So that works. So that's the key to get it. It's why we call it DKIM signature, and it uses our encryption key. So you will have to add a CNAME to your DNS, and to get that particular CNAME is very specific. So you have to write us, or you have to write your company. If you're Cyberimpact, then write to us at support. We'll give you the exact nomenclature to put in your DNS. If you're with another company, you'll have to ask them how they add the DKIM signature. It could be different from different company to company, but with Cyberimpact, it's a CNAME that you have to add, just write to us at support. Or if you use the link, I put the FAQ link to our article on how to authenticate your email. The exact nomenclature is down there, so you can use that. So adding the CNAME to your DNS is your signature. That's your signature, sorry, that's your key. The other thing to authenticate is the, well, okay, that's the next slide. You'll have to use the CNAME, that's for us. So Cyberimpact client is the CNAME. Other companies, you'll have to ask them. And there's also quickly a SPF, which right now we don't put a lot of emphasis in, but that's the list. As I mentioned at the beginning, you only let people in your site that are on the list. That's in your SPF. You might have a file there that has domain names that are allowed in. So by adding spf.cyberimpact.com to your SPF, that puts on the list. But at least the big thing here is the DKIM signature. As long as you have that, you have the key, and you can have that key. You can use that to any email servers to get in, and you'll be pretty much in almost automatically. The other thing, that another requirement was the spam rate. It has to be below 3%. The best tool for that is the Gmail's Postmaster tool. You can just Google Gmail Postmaster tools, and you'll get them. You'll be able to enter some of your information, and you'll be able to get your rate, your spam rate for your own specific email. It has to be under 0.3%. It is surprisingly easy to get there, so you might be careful. Want to be careful not to get too high. That's why as soon as you can get your DKIM signature, that's the best. You also have some things to kind of check when you make your emails. Don't put like words like free or money or contest and stuff like that, because that usually could be some words to trigger some of the spam filters. So try to keep everything under 0.3%, and you should be okay. Next slide will also give you some. Okay, that one I think, Jeffrey, I'm going to leave that. Otherwise, I'm just going to run through the rest of the presentation.
Yeah, I was going to say that's my part, but it's good.
Yep.
I know you're passionate about it.
Yes.
So Patrice, what Patrice just said there is, so in terms of requirement, we looked at the DKIM, the DMARC, and then Patrice was talking about the spam rate that needs to be below 0.3%. The spam rate below 0.3%, what Patrice was saying is true. It's very easy to get to that. There's not a big gap, in order to not be there. So you have to be very careful. It's not black and white. It's not very easy, to navigate through that. So what we're telling you today is that there's a few tips that you need to make sure that you implement and that you follow in order to stay below that 0.3% here. And by the way, Cyberimpact is applying a new change to its system, where after you do a campaign, you'll be able to see the amount of person that classified you as spam. The unsubscription, you already have them, and any abuse or report that were reported to the system as well. So that's going to be great indicators in order to make sure that you stay below that 0.3% there. So what can you do to stay below that 0.3%? Well, the first one is just making sure that you adhere to email sending best practices, as well as the law in your region. So the CASL, the Bill 25. So these are all stuff that you need to make sure that you follow. You need to make sure that you only communicate with contacts for whom you have a consent. Don't buy any email list, because yes, we had that question in the French version of that webinar. If you buy an email list, it's going to be your problem there. But the issue is that probably, anyone is going to, you will get like a lot of unsubscription, you will get a lot of spam, and you will get a lot of people reporting you for not giving you their consent to send emails. So just make sure that the emails that you have, you got them the proper way, you got the consent, you have a business relationship with those people. In our FAQ, and I don't know, Patrice, if you can find it quickly there, in our FAQ, we have all the different consent and how many months you can keep contact with those person before renewing that consent or making sure that you still get the agreement from that contact. The third one, send relevant emails, quality content over quantity. Of course, personalized message at an appropriate frequency. So these are just tips and tricks. You don't have to follow them precisely, but just make sure that when you send an email, we're talking, especially in 2024, the more you personalize your content, the more you segment your list, the less you'll have a subscription and the less spam report or abuse report you'll get as well. Okay, so this is very important. It's not just take your whole list and just send one email. That could work, but most of the time what we're seeing is that you get a lot more in subscription. You get people frustrated because you're not getting the right content there, or they're getting too many emails from you. So you have to continue to use the system there, look into the reports that you're getting after every newsletter that you're doing. You get all the details in Cyberimpact or any other system that you'll be using. Just make sure that you're looking into that. As a fourth thing there, you have also the profile update form. So that's a good thing, just to make sure that people, they update their profile. If you have different groups or segments that people are your contacts are part of, just make sure that they are capable to update their profile and making sure that they select the right group or anything like that. As a fifth point here, what I was saying earlier, segment your contacts and send targeted communication. That's sometimes it's not possible to do it, but if you can do it, then you'll get a better result in terms of less unsubscription, less spam report, less abuse report as well. Build quality lists for with subscription forms. So use the subscription forms that we have to gather email addresses. That's the best way to do it, especially if you use the double opt-in there, then you get a full consent. The best one that you could get is that one, so use that. And as I was saying throughout those points there, monitor your statistic, the bounce rate, the unsubscription rate. Bounce rate, by the way, is very good there because you get the information. So if you're sending emails to addresses that doesn't exist, or you get a bounce there, it's very important to make sure that you look into that. And all the other statistics that you get access to. And I would personally look as much as I can and as often as I can there into the unsubscription statistic that you get after each email that you send. Especially if you have big list of contacts, just look into that. If you get a higher rate than usual, then try to rethink, is it because of the content? Is it because of the frequency and all that? So that's very important to look into as well. So we spoke about DKIM, DMARC, a little bit the SPF, which is optional for now. We talked about the spam rate below 3%, which is all requirements. Now, the last requirement was asked by Google and Yahoo is to make sure that you have the option to unsubscribe someone. So someone that received an email from you, even if it's a direct email, an email sent by HubSpot, an email sent by Cyberimpact, they need to be able to unsubscribe. Now, there's two things. There's the one-click unsubscribe, which is what Cyberimpact has enabled in the newsletter. So you always have it at the bottom. The other thing that we implemented that Google was asking is when you go into a Gmail account, you always see the unsubscription on top as well. So that is, go ahead.
I can hear my production director scream in my ear. We're working on that one clip for Gmail. It's not solely there, but it will be there very, very soon. So, but at least we have the one at the bottom in the footer. So that's
exactly.
minimum.
And the unsubscription on top, and or it's either on top or, like Patrice said, at the bottom. We will be doing both there. And the other thing that I was saying is when you do email one-to-one, so let's say I'm using my personal Outlook application there. I'm sending an email to someone that is a Gmail address. That person, if she replies to me, please don't send me any other email, then you have 48 hours to unsubscribe or make sure that you don't send an email to that person. Now, I know that this is a manual process, but this is something that Google and Yahoo will be looking into, and that someone that has a Gmail account, a Yahoo account, can easily report you if you don't comply to it. So they're going to be very serious about it. They're going to be looking into it, and they are putting system in place to easily report anyone that it doesn't comply to it. Now, before we go to the Q&A section, we have other tips and tricks to avoid spam filter. So as mentioned, obtaining express consent, very important. So just make sure that you have that relationship to that person that you're sending an email. This one is kind of important too. Avoid certain keywords. So we just gave you like an example of 3, but you could easily look into Google, Yahoo, or even ask ChatGPT. But there's certain words that are being flagged as spam. So anything that has free, that has buy, that has money in it could be flagged as spam. You need also to look into your list. So regularly remove any obsolete or inactive addresses from your list. So try to make sure that when you send any emails there, that your list is cleaned up and that it doesn't have any issues. Have a professional email address. That's what we were talking about. So let's say you're an accountant and you have a Gmail address, you might want to think about switching over to a domain address. So let's say I'm Jeffrey the accountant at gmail.com, then I would probably want to buy an address that, jeffreytheaccountant.com and get an email address that is more like hello@jeffreytheaccountant.com. A domain is not very expensive. If you want to buy a domain, we have resources internally that we can refer you to. Just need to reach the support department, and then they're going to guide you through that. But that would be like the next step, is just to make sure that you're using a domain email address for your next communication. And that's pretty much it today. Yeah,
I got a question for you. Yep, someone is asking if the unsubscribe rate affects the spam rate. If someone unsubscribes from your account, unless they actually report this as an abuse, it won't count to your spam because it's not technically wrong thing. Someone just wants to stop receiving your emails. So if they just unsubscribe for your emails, that's good. It doesn't affect your spam rate. Of course, if they click the abuse button, then it will, because it's going to be reported as abuse.
Yeah. One of the things that we're seeing in terms of unsubscription, and what we were saying is, as soon as you get high level of unsubscription rate into your account, you could be sure that there will be a high level of people that are flagging you as spam as well there. So you need, I'm not saying it's 1-to-1. I'm not saying there's a big correlation between the two, but this is something that you should be looking into. If you get high level unsubscription into a mailing that you're doing, then first of all, your list is probably not good anymore, or there's people in your list that doesn't want to get your content. So that would be maybe a good idea to redo a consent campaign there, just to make sure that you get people consenting again, to make sure that if you send anything, they don't flag you as spam. So what we're saying is just take a look at everything, just to make sure that you understand the behavior of your contact list, because it could affect you in the future.
All right. Other questions. Someone just asked, if you highlight the keywords free, buy, or money, are these in the subject line or within the email itself? It could be anywhere. As obviously, if you put in the subject line, that's a much bigger red flag than anywhere else. But if somewhere, and again, if it appears once in a 18-paragraph email, it's not going to be that big of a deal, because you can talk about free range or free whatever. But if there's a huge free, and if there's only like one paragraph and it says free money contest, click here, or if it's in their subject line, it's going to be a bigger flag, but it's all within reason. But those are the keywords that are a bit more suspect for spam bots to check out.
Patrice, just to go back to the procedure with Cyberimpact, if you're adding a DKIM and a DMARC to your domain, you have one last step, which is once it's done,
True.
contact Cyberimpact support to enable that signature. If you do the DKIM and the DMARC without contacting us, it's like doing nothing. It's really important. That's that signature enabling that we'll do on our side that is going to seal the deal, if I can say that there, that is going to make sure that the next campaign that you will be doing will be properly configured, sorry.
Yeah, someone asked that question in the Q&A. The ideal situation would be to get, because you need to get the specific CNAME for your domain. So you can either contact us at support to get the exact nomenclature before you contact your domain name, or if you use the FAQ article that I've put in the chat window and go into the article called Authenticate Your Emails, you will get that nomenclature a bit further down. It's a client._.cyberimpact, not client, sorry, cyberimpact._domain key dot your domain name, and then there's a whole lineup. So that's, you can get it from the FAQ article, or you can get it from us at support. Then you contact your domain name hosting company to have the changes made, to put the DMARC policy on, and to add the CNAME. And once that's done, you contact us again so we can flip the switch in your account and make sure the DKIM signature is active for your account. This is for your mass mailing needs, for your Cyberimpact account, because I saw a question about Microsoft. Most people will use Microsoft like within their company for company emails and for send one-on-one. You can put a DKIM signature on those emails, but that's probably a different process than what we're describing now. There's going to be something to add in the DNS on the Microsoft side, or at least in your company's server. So if you want to put a DKIM signature on your Outlook emails, your company emails, you'll have to contact your IT team to see exactly how that works, because that's not necessarily a CNAME like we do. So it might be a bit different. So contact your IT team. But everything that has in relation to Cyberimpact, you can contact us first, or use the FAQ article to get the exact name, and you should be good there. We had a very quick question about someone saw Bill 25 and the CASL. The Bill 25 refers to the Quebec Bill 25, and the Canadian version, or the Canadian anti-spam law, that's the CASL you saw. That's more towards the consent and such. I think other than that, we've covered.
Patrice, there's
Yes.
Alisa asking us, should we advise that we've added these to our DNS? It's just to contact the support.
You can
either
contact
with
us
the
through
chat.
the chat. Yep. Chat, phone, email. The quickest would be either the chat, because we're pretty responsive on that. You can call us, or you can send us an email. Usually we'll do it within the 6 to 8 hours, big max, because right now we're kind of in a rush. Usually it's much quicker than that. But if you need it pronto, just give us a call or use the chat.
Yeah.
And if you want to make sure, if you want to make sure that your DKIM signature, not your DKIM, sorry, your CNAME is online, and your DMARC policy is also online and correct, you can use a website called mxtoolbox.com. That's the one we use to check DMARC policies and CNAME signatures. I'll put the address in the chat window, but you can use that website to check your CNAME if it's online and if it's correct, and same thing for your DMARC policy. So you can check that. And once everything is online and visible, contact us. We flip the switch and you got your signature. You're up.
Okay, I was going to say there's another good question. Someone's asking if we could see anyone that their configuration is properly done, and the answer is yes. We see all of our clients. I'm going to ask Patrice, did we proactively contacted those clients? The answer is yes.
Yep.
That's what we've been doing for the past almost 2 months there, and a little bit more. We're contacting each and every single client, offering our help, offering all the information to do the proper configuration. I've done configuration with clients one-to-one there as well. The other thing is Cyberimpact has put something in place, which Patrice, I think, spoke a little bit earlier, which is a fallback address. If you're not compliant with the DKIM DMARC signature, you'll be falling back to a specific address, a Cyberimpact address, to any emails that you want to send through our system. And the reason why we're doing that is just to make sure that we're 100% compliant with Gmail, Yahoo, and other mailbox system there. And we want to make sure that we keep that spam rate very low, because we are impacted as the system that sends millions of emails per month, and we monitor everything. So that change that we did is already in place. If you see that you're about to make a campaign or anything like that, and you see that the email is Cyberimpact something there, this is because your domain is not properly configured or the signature is not enabled. So now you need to contact support. We'll help you through that. But we did all the changes required on our site just to make sure that, you know, we're keeping that compliance with Gmail and Yahoo and other systems.
Yep.
All right. Is there any other questions?
The last one was
Yeah.
the first one they asked. Will you get the video? You will get the link to this recording by next Monday at the latest, and it will be available on our YouTube channel. So you might want to subscribe to that right away, and you'll be warned as soon as this video is online. But you will get the link to it by next Monday.
We'll wait another maybe 30 seconds to see if there's like any other questions.
Sure.
Again, we understand that for some companies or people, it's not an easy change. We're there to help you. If there's anything, please feel free to reach out to the client service department. Patrice and his team there is doing a wonderful job. We want to make sure that it's as easy as we can to every Cyberimpact client there. So if there's anything, feel free to reach out. As we mentioned, this video presentation will be available very soon. And we invite you to subscribe to our YouTube link. There will be more and more content there, English and French. So we're serving like both languages.
We're all over social media. We have an Instagram account you can follow too, and you've got YouTube and everything. So we're everywhere. And you can contact us pretty much everywhere. All right.
Okay. If there's no more question, then I'd like to thank everyone to being part of this webinar. Thank you, Patrice, as well.
Thanks,
and see you on the next webinar there. Thank you, everyone.
See you.